Greetings once again. This is Season 3, Geese Howard, the Goose. So, this is the plan. I will go through the changes one by one. There aren't many. Then I will tell you what they mean in practical terms, putting them all together. And then I'll give you my opinion on the character as he is in this season. The first change that we see is an increase in damage to Tekken. So the last hit does 25 damage instead of 15, so that's a 10 damage increase. This is a super that at the end always does guaranteed like 25 damage now. So it always does 25, no matter the combo scaling, no matter the situation. Next we have a new move, and has a bunch of variations. It's his Buzzsaw. This used to be a safe DP in the older games, but now it's not a DP. It doesn't even have invincibility or anything, though it is safe. On block, so there's a 1 version and a 2 version. The 1 version is faster, but the 2 version goes farther. This is a screw attack, and it's going to help him out in combos. So the normal versions are -6 on block, and this version is -2. So now Geese can do stuff like this. And because of the max mode version, now he gets a significant damage increase in his standing 2 combo. Right, now standing 4, this went from -3 on block to -8. So after blocking this standing 4, you were free to move around still, or even do the duck jab string into a counter hit launch. Now if you block this, you just have to stop. It's -8, you stop what you're doing, you can't move, you can't really do anything from here now, you just stop. He got a change to his forward 2. It used to be 20 frames of startup, now it's 17. And he can do something cool with this. So let's have Paul do Death Fist. So now he can punish it. But, well, it's kind of... there's a bit of a problem. Obviously it doesn't work on max reach. And also, as you can see there, the biggest range on this move is on the last hit. So you have to be at specific distances to be able to punish this correctly. Next is his down forward 1. It went from -1 on block to -3. Again, this is to prevent him from having momentum on block. I mean, Geese is a down forward 1 oriented character, so this is one of his most important tools. This nerf here now doesn't really let him do this into jab, and also because of the next nerf, down forward 1-1, which used to be -2 on block, now it's -4. So same kind of nerf, and also increase the recovery time for both the character and the opponent. So now the block stun lasts longer. It's more minus on block, and the block stun lasts longer, so it gives more time for the opponent to think about what he's doing. As for Geese, well, I mean, he can still disrespect with duck jab, but he doesn't get the duck jab string anymore, as we'll see. Next here is down forward 2. Down forward 2 used to be -5 on block, so he could still move around, do duck jab. Now it's -9, now he stays still. Now he doesn't do anything. Probably Yoshimitsu can punish this in NSS or generally at the wall, because another thing that they did was they decreased the distance between the character and the opponent, so it doesn't have as much pushback anymore. And another thing is that also now it whiffs harder. So he recovers more slowly when he whiffs. If you whiff this, you can get whiff punished more easily. So, pretty bad nerf. Now, the biggest thing is what we're going to see next. The counter jab. This is gone. So, now he doesn't get max mode combo. And it could, I mean, it could be a problem. It would be, no, it would very much be a problem if he still had duck jab into the new buzzsaw. Into his max mode buzzsaw. Because you would get ridiculous damage off of it. And you could still get ridiculous damage off of it, especially with walls in Season 2. So, hence the nerf. It's understandable. He does still have this. This move, down 3, is now minus 15 on block. It used to be minus 12. It's a low poke. And on hit, it's now minus 5 instead of minus 2. Yeah, on hit it's minus 5, and on block it's minus 2. The way that I suppose they intend you to use this move is with this, so it becomes safe. Also on counter hit, you can do this, but only on counter hit. So I guess it's excused for it to be minus 15. This is a passive nerf, but it's still a big one. So his meter bars, right? They got a nerf by 50% when guarding or getting hit. I guess when you block or get hit by an opponent now, you gain less meter. Which means that you can go to round 2 or round 3 and you still don't have 1 bar of meter. Alright, so let me go over what this means for Geese now in this season. Basically, Geese used to have momentum even on block, even after people blocked stuff, and he could still move around. His pressure was insane because of that. Very down forward 1 oriented character, a lot of poking and pressure. So now he doesn't have that momentum on block. Now he has to hit you with something. But even if he hits you, he has to hit you with like a mid or still a jab or something. Because his lows, the only low that's really scary is sidestep 3. Because it's plus frames. And now with Buzzsaw you get a new combo from it all the time. So you get that. And it works every time. You have to do the one version of Buzzsaw. So sidestep 3 still exists. So you can still use that. But his other lows, they're all negative frames on hit. So to continue Geese's momentum, you're going to have to use a lot of jabs, I guess. And you have to hit people a lot with unforward 1, or you can't afford to have things blocked anymore, that's what I'm saying basically. But he lost his momentum in block, but he got a damage increase because of Buzzsaw. And because of the Deadly Rave damage increase in the last hit as well. So now with 1 bar, he can kill you with this in open ground. Without walls, that is. So with walls or without walls, he's going to do a hell of a lot of damage. The problem to me is where are those opportunities to get combos? Because in high level, poking is important. People aren't going to throw out random unsafe things out of nowhere. They're not going to whiff. You have to make people whiff, and that's terribly difficult. So I would prefer if he was better at poking than the damage buffs that he got. But I suppose that what they thought was, well, you get more damage but you lose poking. So that was the change, that they wanted Geese to be more of a powerhouse character, but even retaining some of his poking. I guess that's what they were thinking. Also, because he lost his momentum on block with stuff like this or this, he lost opportunities to continue the pressure with duck jab. But he also doesn't have the duck jab combo anymore. So he lost 2 things from that as well. Okay, so I've told you about that detail with duck jab forward 3. this still exists. And you get it's good. It's a good reward you get. It's not a launch, obviously. That was ridiculous in season 2, but it's still something good. You get a bunch of plus frames from Ford 3, right? But there's another way that you can work around to still use Ford 1, which is, so you do a bunch of these, right? And you start disrespecting people whenever you're at minus frames. You start doing this, like you hit them with this minus frame low, and you do stuff like this. And eventually they'll want to start to duck, because this is a high that's +1 on block, and they don't want to be at the frame disadvantage. Now, if you get the feeling that they're going to duck, you can do something like this. Alright, so I set the opponent to stand block, and then to crouch block. So, it's like this. It's not guaranteed on counter hit or anything, but you can still make that sort of thing work, you know? And if it doesn't work out, then you can always go into max mode and you're safe. Now, this being -15 on block doesn't really bother me, because, well, one, you can go for the duck jab, and he also has he's got 2 more lows that are very quick and don't come out of a sidestep, because if you see him sidestep, you have to be a little bit worry about his sidestep 3. And you can mix it up with back 3, yeah, no problem. But he's got down forward 3, and he's got down 2. Down 2 actually has even more range than down 3. So this is down 3, this is down 2. See, it's got a little bit more range than down 3. And it does more damage as well. See, this is 12, this is 13. None of these moves don't track, by the way. And he's got this string as well. If people push, this is minus on block. But if people push buttons, he can still do this. This is -14. But if people stay still, then he can turn this into a plus frame low if they block this, because it becomes +1 on block. And he's got a mid extension, which becomes +2 as well, which is also wall bounce. So it's still... So he has ways to work around his nerfs in this patch, and I think he can still work. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to use, for him to conduct his offense. So I really like this character, and I'll keep playing him, and I think I'll play him even more than Noctis, because I just like the character so much. I know that a great deal of pin-headed sons of ice cream makers don't like the character, and hence why he was nerfed. But I'll still play him. And you know, if you had a very big problem against Geese in Season 2, it's not because of these nerfs that you still won't have those problems. I think he's still strong, just less.